Tonight on 27 First News at 11, an oil spill and very few answers have people asking questions.
Who's going to check and make sure we're safe in this community?
What new details WKBN uncovered to keep you safe?
And I hope you enjoyed all the sunshine this afternoon because things will be changing. Rain will be moving in. I'll have that 7-day forecast for you.
I think world peace is very important right now.
This Easter Sunday, the Pope sent a strong and somber message. What he's saying to people worldwide. And will your morning commute be impacted because of road construction? We'll tell you the areas you need to avoid.
Investigative, in-depth, in the Valley. WKBN 27 First News at 11 starts now.
Good evening and happy Easter. I'm Matt Horn. We have new developments on a waste oil spill in Vienna. We've been told the Ohio EPA and Ohio Department of Natural Resources have contained the spill, but people are still wanting to know what it means for them. 27 First News reporter Derek Lewis went searching for answers. He's live in the studio with what he found out. Derek?
People in the community have been reaching out to their trustees trying to get answers. They're not sure if the water they depend on and use every day is even safe.
Who's going to check and make sure we're safe in this community?
That's the question Diana and people living in Vienna want answered. After a waste spill in their community Thursday night, they're worried about how healthy the water is in their town. Many residents in the area have wells in their backyards.
It's my only source of water, drinking water, food source, bathing water, yes.
And if that's contaminated?
I don't know what we're going to do or what they're going to do.
Residents are sending their questions to the Vienna Township trustees. We spoke with trustee Phil Pegg, who's been receiving calls and emails from residents about the issue, but he's not getting any information from officials.
We've been left in the dark locally.
Pegg says state officials in Columbus should be doing more to inform them of what's going on and how to deal with this.
We're requesting some assistance from the state. Give us some direction. We need the help here. Definitely there's a problem.
Are they going to somehow provide us with fresh water? Is the city going to pay for it? Is the state going to pay for it? Is the federal government going to pay for it? And what's going to happen with this company?
We spoke with State Representative Sean O'Brien to get some answers. He says the Trumbull County Health Department will be working with the state to provide free testing for contamination of the water for residents affected in Vienna. The township will hold a meeting Monday evening at 6 o'clock at Matthews High School.
We've asked someone from ODNR, and we're being told that there will be a representative there.
Vienna officials and residents are hoping that this meeting tomorrow will provide them with some type of answers for their community. And, we'll continue to follow this story as it develops.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Derek. And we wanted to know how common incidents like this are in Ohio. According to the Right to Know Network, in 2013, there were a total of 808 incidents. The majority were because of auto accidents. There were 90 incidents in Ohio caused by storage tanks, drilling platforms, or pipelines. Total property damage in 2013 was $766,000. For more information, you can go to our website, WKBN.com. We have more details about contamination leaking into Lake Erie this weekend. The U.S. Coast Guard is investigating the cause of the mess. The exact source of the spill and the cause is still not known at the moment. Crews say they could be out for days cleaning up the mess. Crews with Clean Harbors, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the EPA are investigating and removing the oil from the marina. Originally, crews thought there was maybe 1,000 gallons of oil, but officials tell us they've pumped 8,000 gallons of an oil and water mixture. Crews say they're doing everything they can to clean it up.
So you'll see the hard boom and the soft boom, which is basically just a mechanism to trap the oil on top of the water. And then we've also got skimmers, and they run constantly and skim the oil off of the top. That goes into a storage tank, and that'll be properly disposed of in accordance with law.
Investigators collected samples and sent them out to the lab to be tested. They expect to have those results by tomorrow. Covering Mahoning County tonight, firefighters were called out to this house on Hartzell Avenue for a house fire. It started just after 7 this morning. Neighbors tell WKBN they don't think the owner was home at the time of the fire. The gas company was called in to shut off service to the house. A cause and damage estimate, they weren't available. There were no injuries in the fire. Covering Columbiana County, we have more on a deadly train accident we first brought you as breaking news during last night's 10 and 11 o'clock newscasts. We've learned A Salem man who is 51 years old, Farron Carrion, was killed when he stumbled in front of the train near South Ellsworth Road. Investigators say the death looks to be accidental. Firefighters and emergency crews were at the scene until around midnight last night. 27 First News had the only crew at the scene covering the story for you, and we'd like to thank you, our viewers, for tipping us off on this breaking news story. Now, if you spot a story, you can send it to us by going to our website, WKBN.com, and click the Report It tab. Investigators say a Pennsylvania woman was killed after she was hit by a train near Pittsburgh. The 40-year-old was hit by the train shortly before 1:30 this morning. Allegheny County Police are looking into why the woman was on the tracks. We're also told that she died 2 hours after the accident. Covering Trumbull County, starting tomorrow, Warren drivers will face a detour the next few days. Eastland Avenue from Market will be closed for work. Anyone heading to St. Joe's Hospital on Eastland will have to use Meadowbrook. The road should open up by Wednesday. We have a 27 First News follow-up for you tonight. It's about the fight to keep the Youngstown Developmental Center open. We've learned YDC has a new ally in the fight. Members of the Youngstown State University Student Democrats. They've written a letter asking the state to keep the Mineral Ridge facility open. The center, which houses about 90 people who need special care, is set to close in 2017. The college Democrats say they are against any plans to move residents to another center.
That's a very easy fix in someone's mind, but actually visiting the center and knowing the residents, there's members of the YDC who have already been moved, and this is the second time it's happened within the last 30 years.
The center employs more than 200 people. It's one of 10 developmental centers in Ohio. The state's Department of Disability says that the number of centers is no longer financially sustainable. Tomorrow is the deadline for Ohioans to register to vote for the May 5th election. There are 336 local issues on ballots statewide, such as school and local tax levies, bond issues, and charter amendments. Forms to vote are available online and at local board of elections. If you've moved since the last election, you can also change your information online at myohiovote.com. Absentee voting starts Tuesday. It was a beautiful Easter Sunday out there, but big changes in the weather department this week. Meteorologist Corey Frumpkin is in the Storm Team 27 Weather Center. He's going to let us know how soon the heavy rain will be here in the valley. Good evening, Corey.
Good evening to you, Matt. Well, yes, a lot of rain is on the way, but we can probably squeeze out a few more hours of that sunshine heading into the day on Monday before the clouds start to roll back in. But also with the rain, well, we'll continue to see some mild temperatures, and we are now into the upper 40s. We've dropped about 3 degrees over the last hour at the airport. And taking a closer look, our high today was into the lower 60s, so slightly above average for this time of year. And now as we take a look at the temperatures throughout much of the area, continuing to stay into the middle and upper 40s, and actually a few lower 40s beginning to show up into parts of Trumbull County, 41 in Mesopotamia. We're at 42 right now in Newton Falls and 44 in downtown Youngstown, and it's actually cooling off at a pretty fast clip. We're noticing the lower 40s continuing into southern Columbiana County, 41 in Wellsville, and 45 as well in Calcutta. Very few clouds out there this evening. Most of those clouds that were off toward our north, especially into Trumbull and Mercer counties, have moved off toward the north, and we could actually be seeing a few more clouds into southern Columbiana County, but for the most part continuing to stay dry for tonight. Most of the light sprinkles I have been tracking over the last few hours have now since dissipated over parts of just to the north of Mercer County. Now coming up, I'll let you know just how much warmer it will get for the week, as well as all that rain that is heading our way. I'll also show you Future Tracker. All those details are coming up in just a few minutes. Matt?
Thanks, Corey. People all around the valley attended church services today. St. Columba in Youngstown was one of them. The church held 2 masses today, even though the one that's usually scheduled at 4 o'clock in the afternoon was not celebrated for Easter Sunday. Well, the Easter holiday always means a lot of chocolate and jelly beans, but many people waited to buy those at the last minute for, well, you guessed it, a sweet deal. The line was out the door this morning at Giano's Candy in Struthers. The store offers all its chocolate half price on Easter Sunday. It's a tradition that goes back to 1978. The store opened its doors at 7 o'clock this morning. The owner says they average, get this, about 3,000 customers each year for the half price deal.
It started off as just something we tried on an Easter Sunday, and it's grown into a tradition now. We have people calling us all the way from Akron, Canton, Michigan, seeing if we have our half price sale on Easter Sunday.
Curious on what the most popular sweet is to buy for half price? Well, the owner says it's the pre-made Easter baskets as well as the big bunnies made out of solid chocolate. Those sound amazing right now. And at Stone Mountain in Georgia, people got up bright and early to celebrate the holiday in a different way. Here you can see people gathered for a special non-denominational sunrise service. 2 services were held at the same time, one at the bottom of the mountain and one at the top. The annual event goes back to 1944. Services got started around 7 this morning. New since 6 on Easter Sunday, Pope Francis prayed for an end to what he called absurd violence in conflict areas around the world. Despite the stormy weather, tens of thousands of pilgrims were there to see him. CBS News' Anna Mantrega has more from the Vatican.
Pilgrims from around the world huddled under ponchos and umbrellas in heavy rains to celebrate Easter Mass with Pope Francis. This American family traveled from Germany.
Amazing. It was a truly great religious experience for me.
After the service, the Pope delivered a somber Easter message from the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. He appealed for peace throughout the world, in Africa and the Middle East, and especially in Syria and Iraq. He said, "May the international community not stand by before the immense humanitarian tragedy unfolding in these countries."
I think world peace is very important right now and something we so desperately need.
One man can change the mind of many others. It's very important.
Francis also praised the recent agreement on curbing Iran's nuclear program, calling it a definitive step toward a more secure world.
During these Easter celebrations, the Pope spoke out strongly against violence towards Christians, saying they were being persecuted and crucified before our very eyes.
He criticized the international community for what he called its complicit silence. On Easter Sunday, he remembered the 148 students massacred by Islamic militants at a university in Kenya. Many were killed on the spot simply for being Christian. Anna Matranga, CBS News, the Vatican.
This is the 3rd Easter for Pope Francis. Sunday celebrations capped a demanding Holy Week schedule that left the 78-year-old Pope at times appearing tired. Now, to see Easter pictures from around the world, you can go to our website, WKBN.com. Well, it was a beautiful Easter Sunday, but it's not going to last for long. But before we worry about the rain, let's get a quick live look over downtown Youngstown. Looks pretty nice out there right now. Meteorologist Corey Frumkin is in the Storm Team 27 Weather Center. He's going to let you know when you can expect those showers in the valley. You're watching 27 First News at 11.
If you see news happening, send pictures or video to 27 First News. Just go to WKBN.com or our mobile app and click Report It.